Holy shit, there's no noise gate on the microphone. Oh my god, this is going to be torture. Oh no, it's picking up that device. Hang on a sec. Okay, that should be better, right? Oh, that sucks. Holy shit, there's no noise gate on the microphone. Oh no, it's picking up that device. Hang on a sec. Oh, did we figure it out? That should be better, right? Hell yeah, good work. Thank you. Tried my best. It's not showing up in live. There we go. Alright, are we good? Did we fix everything? I think we did. Oh, thank you.
They don't think it matters, and I of course think it matters.
Well, they don't appreciate the president keeping a distance from the DOJ and letting the DOJ speak through indictments only, which is how the public trusts them in the first place. They're completely ignoring what we talked about at the end of the last podcast, that the public needs to trust what the DOJ is saying in the first place.
Maybe. Also, I'm sorry. Yeah, I know I'm speaking a lot.
Hey, buddy. How's it going? Guess what? We're at 100 subs. We did it. Anyway, I'm in a very good mood. We're having celebration drinks. Join the call if you want to.
That shows Trump's criminality and all this. There isn't. And the stuff about his connections.
Oh my god. Look how tiny the fucking chat is. Oh my lord. Why are you so small? Why is it so small? We will never know. That's what she said. Ha ha ha. How based is this, man?
Cable was tangled.
Fucking 100
subs. Headbutted my microphone. Nice one. Rock and roll.
You know, we started the whole doing YouTube videos thing, and look where we are. You need sleep? You do not need sleep. Lies. Absolutely. Anyway, we're watching a debate. If you know, maybe that'll help you sleep. You know? I was just dropping by. No! Okay, fair enough. All good, man. Have a good night's sleep, okay? And it was really good seeing you again.
Knew about right before the election. Like, it was known that he was genuinely aware. Like, he gave that comment to the New York Post or New York Magazine or whatever, which, come on, what did that comment mean? We all knew he was best friends with Epstein. And so there's just no smoking gun here in terms of the inculpability of specifically Donald Trump. And so I think
why is this so pixelated? It says enhanced bitrate.
Lib pilled. Being grounded. That's the lawyer brain. Hell yeah. Okay. I appreciate it. It's true. There is no smoking gun, really.
It's a gross departure from the standards of the DOJ to do this.
I have to just interject here because just so much is redacted. How can you really make that determination from what we haven't seen?
Things being redacted is an indication even more that there's no smoking gun, right? Like it's you can't just say there's lots of redactions, therefore we're just going to fill it in with a smoking gun. What the fuck? Like it makes it maybe doesn't rule it out being impossible, but okay.
Well, wait, no. So no. Sorry. Wait. I just want to address that. So the claim
we saw one of the redactions that was accidental, right? Like they accidentally did it through the PDF in Adobe, which means you could actually unredact it just by highlighting it and pasting it. But what we saw there was the names of companies for, I guess, like protection or whatever, because they hadn't done any wrongdoing, but they were just named in the file, so it wouldn't be good for them to have their names showing up in a fucking nonce dossier and a noncier.
Is look at all this shit that Biden had. The claim is being made from these people. We've seen all this stuff. They had it, and the fact that Merrick Garland didn't release it shows their incompetence. But of course, I'm judging that claim, the claim that there was something advantageous for them to drop in that moment and that it wouldn't have been a breach of norms. I'm not speculating as to what's not revealed. I'm speculating on the actual comment made by people on the basis of what has been revealed.
I mean, at a certain point, though, aren't you also talking about a matter of priorities or prioritizing? Yeah. It seems like if you did have a guerrillion documents and the potential there to stop like truly bad people, you would think, even if it was just at the DOJ level, there would be something there you would want to shift into that and persecute it like just a little bit further. Like I haven't heard what I've had it podcast said about this. I understand the general theme of, you know, why didn't they move on it more? It does seem like any leader, you can still essentially be hands off in trying to insist that
I'm going to keep listening, but I'm going to fix this webcam.
Time, you know, you can make sure that people are actually looking into criminality, right?
Wait, so what does Biden do? Biden says, "Hey, Merrick, go release all the documents that are bad about Trump." Like, what did you want him to do?
Well, it's not. No. Yeah, it's not a matter of like make sure you're looking.
These guys do not give a fuck about how what any of the norms and standards are in American democracy. I think that's probably exactly what they would want.
Specifically, into the thing about Trump, but like if the inverse of that would be to basically say like, you know, don't touch it at all or something to that extent. I'm just saying.
Well, you don't have evidence that happened. That's the problem, right? Like
no, wait. It's still it's not a matter of no evidence at all. It's still one of the most notorious international sex criminals, you know, trafficking rings in the history of the modern era. Why would
we're losing the thread here? Hold on. Their complaint was not that Biden refused to investigate Donald Trump or Merrick Garland refused to investigate Donald Trump.
It's they didn't tell him to release stuff.
Yes, their complaint was that he didn't just release it to the public for political reasons to tank Donald Trump's chances.
Am I having a short memory here? But no, I'm not. I don't know why I would even ask that. People didn't really seem to care all that much about the Epstein files until Trump made it a thing when he was already in office, or like when he ran on it. It was when he got fucking libs of TikTok and all those fucking mouth breathers to pose with their releases of the files, even though it was all redacted. I thought it was MAGA that decided that there's a whole bunch of new crazy shit in the Epstein files, probably because they thought that Clinton was named enough times that it would affect him or the Democrats. But gosh,
winning.
And the question is, what does that look like? Hey, can you tell people to go release documents that are bad about Trump? Like, that is what your people, not you specifically, we're commenting on other people. Well, I don't know if you guys have this opinion, but like, what does that communication from Biden look like? I want an answer to that question. What does that communication from White House to DOJ look like?
I think just by
the perception, like, oh, can I just add? Because like the perception is like, why was Trump impeached for the first time, right? It's like, oh, hey, give me specific documents that specifically implicate my political opponent, and I want to release these, and also I'm using my position of power to levy that, right?
Yes, that is the basis for the first impeachment.
Right. So it's like not quite how that went, though.
I think just
that's
by
exactly how that went.
I'm sorry, go ahead. Vadim, go ahead.
I know it's not the same.
I think that just by whipping up more,
because he used quid pro quo or because he used threats, is that the difference? You're still not supposed to do it, though. You're not supposed to. The DOJ is not. The Attorney General is not supposed to be your fucking personal lawyer, or you're definitely not your fucking political campaign lawyer. Like,
or discussion of the situation. There's still such a close proximity that he had. There's a lot that he clearly was in on. I think that at the very least, it would have just generated a lot more like terrible word of mouth and just like shat on his reputation all the more in the lead up to the election. So maybe it would not have had that desired consequence of like, you know, just providing a what's the like catching him red-handed, but still, like, I think it could have done a lot.
But what's the communication, Vadim?
And then lastly,
Vadim,
I think that, like,
show me Pennsylvania.
I find it really hard to believe, maybe I'm wrong, that he could not have found a way to cut through a significant amount of that red tape. And even if you take Donald Trump out of it, it's still this matter that involves so many other people of consequence that deserve to.
Right, but that's not the no video. I grant that this is important. I think there should be a fucking special counsel or whatever. Yeah, if you want to grant that, but there's some reports that they were still investigating, and that in fact Trump shut down aspects of the investigation in one of their memos. But that's not the claim that I think people are pointing to. That I've had it, even though I haven't heard that statement or the Mehdi one. But I have heard this style of thing, which is they fucked over the election. They didn't really think that Trump was a fascist threat, because if they did, they would have released this information, that which presupposes that there's like insanely inculpatory information here about Trump, which there isn't yet so far that we've seen, other than what's already been known about the nature of their friendship and connection. And then two, that there ought to have been some sort of communication between Biden and the Department of Justice on this area. So I'm going to ask for the second time, what would you guys, if you agree with this position, what is that communication?
I don't know what Mehdi Hassan said about the Epstein files in particular, but this tweet just fucking completely floored me, man. I have a feeling that a lot more Muslims around the world would support the Iranian protests for freedom and democracy if so many members of the pro-regime change Iranian diaspora weren't such raging Islamophobes. Dude.
Jesus fucking Christ.
And I was kind of stunned by this, because I had learned from Mehdi Hassan that we typically blame the bigotry on the religion of the offending party, right? The offending part. Like if there's anti-Semitism in the West, I thought we said, oh yeah, it doesn't really help that the Jewish state with the Jewish flag and the Jewish star is doing all these bad things. Imagine if, bro, how would Mehdi respond if someone said this about fucking Palestine? Does he deny that the Free Palestine movement is full of fucking anti-Semites, like people who are like believers in the protocols and like Jewish conspiracies and shit like that, and Hamas supporters? Like, what the fuck? How can you hold this double standard? Oh, because you're a fucking brain rotted hack. Fuck. Anyway.
True.
But I don't know what's this fucking community now? It's actually Islamo-trauma shaped by decades of violent enforcement of Islamic rules, including the killing of civilians for non-compliance. Opposing clerical coercion and theocracy reflects lived trauma under religious rule. That's funny. Okay.
And from the White House to the DOJ look like?
I don't think you have to actually even mention Trump's name at all. That's the point, right?
I'm asking what it looks like. Can you give an example of like what you would say if you were in charge? Like, hey, Mr. Merrick Garland, now we heard about this Epstein stuff. Release stuff. What does it look like?
You can simply just ask for an update on the progress of processing that information and pursuing any related any found criminality. I mean, it literally can be that simple.
Wait,
you don't have to go. You don't have to turn around. Well, no, hold on. You don't have to turn around and basically say like, find the Trump dirt and process it and get it to me now. Everybody basically knew that he was friends for a long time. The idea that it has to be some sort of very illicit, get my political enemies taken care of thing. That's not. I don't think that's.
But really that is what you're asking for, right? Like with a wink, wink, nod, nod. You want them to.
No, I want every last one of the Epstein billionaire class, regardless of whoever they're friends with. I want all those motherfuckers behind bars.
Well, first of all, these documents were sealed by the courts, is my understanding, through September 2024.
The
correct?
Epstein billionaire class. I'm really transcending material conditions there. There's an
Epstein
class now.
Billionaire class.
There's
Let's go.
Bourgeoisie, petty bourgeoisie, lumpen proletaria, and the Epstein class. Hell yeah!
No, that's just a small clutch of them. I mean, the department. Really? It is yes, yeah. I mean, it is the case that the DOJ could have released a lot of this information, but the truth is.
But Pisco been on one lately, bro. Pisco been on one lately. If I'm being honest, I haven't really been following Pisco that much lately. This is an old debate. Just, chilling. Why? What has he done lately? Did he do something on Liberlearn recently?
Is like,
I need to know.
That's not what they do. The Department of Justice is not just supposed to dig up embarrassing information, bad information, and release it generally. This is a matter of public interest, and now it's a political matter. I do want disclosure. And yes, Biden could have ordered his Department of Justice to like disclose a bunch of stuff. That is true. But the implication is he should have for purposes of damaging Trump politically. And that is improper.
What are the odds? What are the odds that Biden was even vaguely aware of the content?
He keeps on defending the DSA, basically. Oh, of course he fucking has. Okay, well, you know what? We will check that out. When did he do this? Was it... Was it on Lib and Learn? Tell me, Chinchilla. Actually, Chinchilla, DM it to me. If you know where to get it. Let me just make sure. Streamer mode's enabled, so your name doesn't really matter, but yeah. You have a convo with Mr. Mooten and Pisco. That might be interesting to watch. I see Vadim and Ogre Boy here. Yeesh. Yeah, this is an old one. Lately, his pedantry disguised as critique has constantly derailed most arguments that have been in support of the DSA. Yeah, he's, he do be like that. Let me have a look. Was it Pisco and Mr. Mountain? Oh, Destiny actually confronted him as well. How long is that? That's only 46 minutes. Yeah, you know what? I might check this one out first. Because I imagine this is where it like kind of started.
You all. You don't care.
Whoa. He's already yelling.
At all. You're
yes.
totally
AOC is not a communist.
Yes. It's not about AOC being a communist. It's about would she permit, like Mamdani his, as a backdoor, all the commies into the party. That's the issue. But nobody's like, wow, like you're right, bro. Like these people constantly equate Democrats and Republicans as essentially being the same thing.
So we're defining the scope of potential positions they could take to only be contrary to their positions on Israel, I guess, and genocide.
They've turned it into that. They've decided that that is the hill to die on, and they've made that a non-negotiable is the most radical position. But how do you deal with it?
Yeah, criticize them as needed. Criticize them as appropriate. What else do you suggest? Kill them? Kill them. Or do what?
It cannot be that every single time that we have these conversations.
That was intense. Jesus Christ.
We're like just kind of super brazenly sweeping for the DSA.
Yeah, where's the sweeping?
So care about shit like that.
Also, guys, if you get the chance, please like the stream. Oh, there's the dog. See, he wants you to like the stream. He's also extremely excited that we got to 100 subscribers today. So yeah, you know, chill vibes.
The culture war bullshit or like a complete reform around the systems that we know work.
That's what I asked about the DSA candidate. What if it's in a general election with a Republican? Can I support them then?
Well, at that point, we've failed. That's a completely different question.
Okay, but then answer it though.
Then we've definitely failed because we've had at least 3 instances of that in this past election cycle, right?
I think that implies that he's talking about he's focused on primaries. But
I don't know.
I've asked him repeatedly, like, and it's not a gotcha. I'm just curious, like, because I might agree with him, but it just depends on where he draws the line, right? Now, if what he's telling me is that I'm obligated to not support a DSA candidate or a DSA endorsed candidate when the alternative is a Republican, then I just unequivocally disagree, and we'll never draw the line there. That's why I was asking him to clarify.
Is there an answer there? I understand that you would have thought that we've already failed there, but what is your take on that?
Well, at that point, we're having a completely different conversation. I think that, like, I would answer the question in the most obvious way, which is like, yes, if it was a Republican on the other side, you would support the candidate. You have to. But like at that point, we've already failed as the Liberal Party.
So where's the disagreement?
By allowing the Liberals into allowing liberal candidates.
Where's the disagreement? I obviously don't support liberalism, and I would condemn people who, for example, there have been times where like populist candidates like Plattner have endorsed impeaching justices without good cause, in my view. Yeah, I've condemned that. I've been willing to call that out.
The Mr. Mooten convo was pretty good. He's been kind of running from Destiny. Yeah, I imagine so. You know, because every time he debates Destiny on this kind of shit, he just kind of looks... Destiny kind of does a really good job of making him look like he's really pedantic on shit, and really pulling it to the front so people look at it. And he doesn't let him run away from shit. He will confront him and kind of get him to state his position.
And speaking of which, I'm pretty sure, wasn't there a whole discourse between DGG, like that we should do illiberal things, and Hutch was on the other side, and in order to end fascism, we need to be illiberal? What happened to that discourse?
Don't get me started on that.
Wait, Hutch, you remember that discourse?
If you want to speak about DGG, you should drag.
We need to have like
on that. Don't get me started on that.
So what happened to that? By the way, do you remember that, Presec?
I do, but I wouldn't want to speak for the entirety of DGG. Like I said, if you want the DGG spokesperson, he is sitting in the waiting room, so you can drag him in.
Who? Conduit?
Based.
I see. I assume this is not the real Kash Patel, Henry Doggo, Fatty Fever. Yeah, like I don't know. Stephen. Oh, Stephen is listening.
Oh, there he is.
He's not in the requests. He's not in the requests. He's not on the request. But like, yeah, I remember that discourse, and I remember it being like, oh no, we have to like break the rules in order to give punishment. And I'm like, all right, listen, maybe you can make that argument that's consistent or whatever. I am against illiberalism. I'm in favor of liberalism. I have no problem holding candidates to account who are illiberal and condemning them. What's the issue? Where are we failing to meet the moment, as you introduced?
It's trapping Dem voters into a situation where they have two illiberal candidates, the Republican candidate or the leftist candidate. Both options like erode norms and shit. Okay, hang on, I need to turn down my mic, it's clipping. Sorry guys. But yeah. That's one of the problems with all of these leftists and shit.
Because you are platforming the people who are trying to get them elected. What do you mean?
I'm not platforming. I'm a small, like, 100 viewer Andy. I'm not platforming shit.
You know what I mean? Like, you would advocate for the platforming of these people because, and only based on, because they don't like Republicans. Like, we're all in the same team in that sense, yes, but like we're not on the same team whenever it comes to the whole like liberal democracy thing.
In terms of the suggestion here, I guess I am sorry. I know this pisses people off, but like I'm in favor of them having a platform, by which you mean like I'm in favor of them not being censored. I'm in favor of them not being banned. I'm in favor of them having the freedom to speak, or like what, in what sense do you think that I'm in favor of their platforming? Like what is it that I'm not sufficiently calling out with respect to platforming?
Could the danger be that if you treat them favorably and give the impression and lend credence to the idea that we're all on the same team, and then you funnel people to their audience, and then, you know, like 6 months after that fucking rabbit hole, they're like, Democrats are fucking completely beholden to corporate interests, they don't give a fuck about, like, that's the pipeline that I think is
yeah, it's all going in one direction, right? It's they shit on libs, and for the record, the people that got elected right now, they are also DSA. Are like the right wingers, like they're right wingers. So like Mamdani and AOC. I don't know about Mamdani, but I would not put AOC in the same camp as these people. She has moderated quite a bit because of her, you know, what she's been doing in that. You know, she still does the whole billionaires thing, but I get the feeling that she's not, she's been in office for a while, and she's been like she's a pretty well-educated person. Whereas a lot of the other DSA members, they say a lot of unhinged shit about like Like, I think a few of them weren't even supporting Ukraine and shit, you know? So it's like, fuck, dude. We have Republicans and some of the Dems now saying we should fuck over Ukraine.
It's at least like my concern.
If I treat them favorably?
Yeah, if you treat them like they're
you treat them like one of us. That's the
political friends.
Okay.
Don't ask me to define friend. I'm not going to do it.
I think I'm more likely to like, if anything, take some of theirs and they are to take some of mine. I don't know, because I'm maybe that's false. That's just my intuition. Maybe I'm like totally coping about that. But regardless, I think it's useful to go on these big platforms and when it's called for it to be adversarial. And I think that there's probably some agreement. I don't think that you would say don't go on Joe Rogan, but because you would say go be adversarial. And to the extent that I'm hearing illiberal things, or to the extent that I have criticism, like I called out Ryan Grimm earlier this week because of the Fauci shit. I added him, then I made a separate quote post about it, and like, this is the kind of shit I'm apt to do. I do it with Cenk Uygur. Is there any reason to think that it would not be my conduct going forward, that I'm not fulfilling that?
Well, yeah, I think it is like a little bit of cope for sure, because I would say like generally midterms are like kind of a more like low turnout environment, right?
Accept that debate request?
I didn't ask him to do a debate, but he stopped responding.
Have you ever had an adversarial debate with any of these lefties ever?
With any which lefties? Yeah, I've had adversarial debates with lefties, not particularly with Kyle Kalinske or Crystal Ball, but with lefties who call in, Prime Kai, Ogre Boy, Vadim.
Anybody with a platform, whatever you answer, the point I'm getting at is, I know the answer is no, because they're never going to host those. So when you say, I'll have an adversarial relationship with them, no, you won't.
Okay.
Yes, there's no reason to do that.
I mean, if you're saying they won't let me,
it's against his own best interest.
And tweets don't count, and Vadim doesn't count, and Ogre Boy doesn't count. Nothing counts. It only counts if it's scheduled specifically as a debate.
Wait. Do you think that nothing counts is the same as saying only people that only have something to gain by using your platform because they're way smaller is the same thing as saying nothing counts? Is that
I'm asking what counts, and the only thing that counts.
No. Hold on. I asked you a clear question. Answer that yes or no. Is it the same to say that nothing counts is the exact same thing as only infinitesimally smaller creators will talk to you?
Analytically, they're different by definition.
Okay, thank you. So when I say these people won't talk to you, what I mean is the Ryan Grimms and the Kyle Kalinskis and the Crystal Balls and the Sam Cedars are not going to have adversarial conversations with you, correct? Or can you give me an example of a single one you've had in the past?
I haven't had those debates with them. I haven't. I don't know if they're willing.
He's not asking if you've had those debates with them. He's asking if they would ever have an adversarial conversation with you. He's deliberately being weaselly. He doesn't want to answer the fucking question.
The answer is I'm not. The answer is I'm not sure. The answer is I'm not sure. Wait, do you want my answer or do you not want my answer?
Well, you said you quote tweeted two of them and you didn't get a response.
Wait,
right?
I got an initial response from Ryan Grimm and then he stopped responding after I'm like, well, this is insufficient.
So that was a long way of saying yes.
Hang on a second. So I haven't requested a specific debate with Ryan Grimm on Fauci, but your question was, would they be willing to be adversarial? And my answer to that is, I don't know with me. I'm not sure.
Okay, right. I'm curious. I think the answer is no.
Okay.
You guys got hung up a lot on this Adam Kinzinger and Liz Cheney thing. Why? Nobody is trying to run either of these two people as Democrats. These are Republicans. And the reason why we say these guys are good people is because they took a huge political career risk to do what they felt principally was the right thing.
Whether we're willing to run them or not is tangential. The question is on allyship. The question is on whether they're in the tent or not. And so it's tangential to say, are they running or is there sacrifice of a given quantity? That's just tangential to the question of whether they're ally.
Is if you were the United States versus Nazi Germany, is Texas the same thing to you as the Soviet Union?
Analytically, they're different. No. I mean, yes, they're different.
Okay, so when you say allyship, why are you doing this weird game of conflating all allies as the same?
I remember them inviting Taylor Lorenz on, and Pisco was kind of pissed because Hutch was going in on her. Look, I'm gonna, not to defend Taylor Lorenz too much, but she is perfectly okay with people going in on her, and being super combative. She obviously doesn't mind it because she fucking talks to Destiny all the time and shit. Right? There's no problem with, being harsh with Taylor Lorenz. She has no problem with it, so I don't know why Pisco would. It's just sad.
I'm literally doing the opposite. I'm trying to disentangle. So I'll respond to that. So
would you have the same standards for a never Trumper quote unquote ally as you would for somebody who is in your party?
What kind of standard are you talking about with respect to what?
I asked if you would have the same
with
standard.
what? I mean, you have different standards for different folks. I don't know what you're talking about.
for different things.
So you have
for different things.
Well, so why do you keep comparing Adam and Liz Cheney with fucking?
Well, I'll tell you why. So a criteria is given by someone, let's call it Musser or Hutch, and they give a criteria for being in the tent or not being in the tent. Then we give someone and we apply the criteria. We apply the criteria. We apply the criteria. We apply the criteria that was given to us to some other person to test for consistency. And yeah, so that's the answer to that question.
I'm going to shout at Hutch. Hutch and Usurp, you guys are horrible. You guys said that those guys were in the Democratic Party tent. Did you guys really say
allies?
That?
Allies.
Yeah,
allies.
You leave me out of your petty.
Yes, they said they were allies. Yes, correct. Yes.
Hold on, Hutch and Usurp. Would you expect? Let's see if Josiah and Pisco can guess what they're going to answer this. Hutch and Usurp. Would you guess that Adam Kinzinger and Liz Cheney would vote for a Democrat over a moderate Republican?
Nope. No, but that's not the question. That's not the question. That's tangential. Hang on. That's tangential. Hang on. That's tangential.
I'm just curious.
That's tangential.
Did you guess that they were going to answer that way? Did you guess they were going to answer? That's not.
That is tangential. The question is on allyship.
On the word allyship.
So that's. What do you mean allyship? So we're assessing one thing at a time.
Is Texas and the Soviet Union?
No, they're not. No, they're not. No, they're not. So the question. Okay.
Stop saying allyship.
So the question. So the question.
Never Trumpers.
So the question is only. The question is whether or not people are in the tent, and it's a different question.
No, what do you mean the tent? You're equivocating.
There's no equivocation. What is there's no equivocation. These terms in the there's no equivocation here. So an equivocation.
I don't like that I can't hear Destiny.
Is using different definitions for terms. There's no equivocation here. You can't identify an equivocation, and
you're equivocating on the term tent because you're whatever it can mean, whichever you want it to mean. You're being
no, I'm not being intentionally vague. I'm the one calling.
Do you consider Adam and Liz people that you would consider Democrats?
Allies was the term we're using. Allies is the term we're using. Why are we changing the term?
What do we mean?
Who's being slippery with language?
Because ally. What do you mean by ally?
That's my fucking question. That's what I ask, and they get fucking pissed when I ask, "What do you mean by ally?"
It's strange that everybody here has an intuitive sense that there's a difference between an allied who is a never Trumper versus you.
That's by definition an equivocation, isn't it? You're using ally in different senses, yes or no? It is by definition an equivocation. You're saying ally is something different and you're comparing two different things, apples and oranges. That's an equivocation.
No, equivocation is when you're being intentionally vague or hazy, like when you say big tent.
I'm asking, so you're complaining. I'm the one who's asking for clarification about what these people mean with these fucking terms. That's been my...
I misspoke!
whole cause this entire time. So I ask, what do you mean by ally? And Hutch says, what do you mean by what do you mean? Right? They're getting pissed that I'm asking clarifying questions and you outrageously accuse me of equivocation. It's crazy.
Because what they mean when they say, "Oh, I think that Adam is an ally," and you also say like, "Oh, well, of course, like Jeffries is an ally." We don't. Do you think they mean the same thing when they say that?
I would hope they're not equivocating. That's why I'm trying to have non-equivocation.
I'm asking you, as a human being, gun to your head, when Hutch, if he says something like, "I think Adam Kinzinger is like an ally,"
the truth is, I'm not sure.
Yeah, true, he misspoke. So Pisco did change the term himself. Allies or big tent or in the tent, it's kind of the same, but it doesn't map on 100%. Well, I would think of like Liz Cheney would be an ally, but she's not in the Democratic tent. That kind of spiel. That makes sense.
The truth is, I'm not sure. I assume when I have these conversations. Wait. Let me finish my response. The truth is, I'm not sure. My assumption when I'm having this conversation is that we're not equivocating, right? So when we ask about allyship, my assumption is that Hutch isn't equivocating. That's why I want one standard, one criteria. That's why I'm asking these questions.
You're not going to have the same standard.
So then we are equivocating. If we're using different terms that mean different things, that's equivocation.
No, it's like when somebody says a friend. Like, does a friend of the stream mean that they're going to be at your wedding? Like, what? Like a friend.
So that's what I'm. So what I'm trying to do is get clarity on language. When he asks whether Hassan is an ally or whether Hassan is in the tent, I need to know what he means.
Okay, then give us new words right now. If you were talking about Adam Kinzinger and Liz Cheney, I consider these two people. I don't know, friends, allies, whatever. They were willing to stake their political reputations on standing against Trump. I think that's a really admirable thing. And I think it benefits us in the long run and it benefits America. But I wouldn't consider them the same thing as like elected leader Democrats. So what is the different term you would use for them than what you would use?
I'm not proposing the use of these terms. I'm responding to people who are.
Oh my God. This guy's a fucking idiot.
asking me the question about whether given people such as Kyle or Crystal.
You don't like the same word. Hold on. But notice how I was able to understand immediately,
what?
And I could probably ask more questions, what Hutch and Usurp and anybody else.
Wait, what do they mean by ally?
As in, right now, there is a huge confrontation that we have with a foreboding force. We can call it fascism or Trumpism or MAGA or whatever. And these people seem to be standing on the side of basic liberal values. They seem to be people that recognize that they would put country before party, which you usually don't have to when it comes to voting Republican or Democrat. You're not supposed to be putting country before party here. All the parties should be for the country. But they recognize that at the moment, they have to align, at least temporarily, with the Democrats because the Republican Party represents such a great threat. But once that threat is gone, they're immediately back to the Republican side. They're not Democrats, they're Republicans.
So on that notion, Kinzinger is an ally in the same way that a Democrat's an ally, on that notion of allyship.
Oh my God.
One is a member of the party. The other one is not a member of your party. Like, he doesn't understand what an ally is. An ally is not, like, America is not an ally with America, right? America would be an ally with someone who's not America. That's the fucking point, and Piso can't fucking understand.
On that notion of allyship.
If you take Kyle to be sincere, which I don't, and I don't think you have a good reason to.
Well, okay, no, but like,
yeah,
assuming
but
if that's all it means, then that's in line with what Josiah was saying.
But I would put Kyle and Crystal more in the.
Is because everybody understands that Adam Kinzinger is a Republican, but people like you guys keep obscuring that Kyle Kalinske is a Democrat. He's not a Democrat. Yes. And once the election is over, we get back to normal.
When did me or Josiah say he was a Democrat?
You put it. Oh my God! Kill yourself in a video game in Minecraft, not in real life.
Well, like you are going to keep Kyle over here where he's a fucking lunatic. If Kyle Kalinske and Crystal Ball and Ryan Grimm and the Majority Report, if all of these people were to disappear from politics forever, do you know what the seat effect on Democrats would be?
Who knows? I don't know. You think positive?
It would be nothing.
Okay, so there's no effects, right? So
exactly. It would benefit.
So then then why the consternation? Then why the consternation?
I think we would gain
us. We're not. It's not like Kyle is out there turning independents or Kyle is out there convincing MAGA to join our party. They're only doing damage.
Okay, so now we're gonna find a quote of either Josiah or I calling Kyle a Democrat. Never heard that happen. Josiah was very clear in the sense in which he's using ally, that Kyle on that vision, assuming he's sincere, is an ally on that view. But he never called him a Democrat. He never said treat them the same as you would treat Hakeem.
I don't think Kyle and Crystal wouldn't even call themselves Democrats.
Sure. You guys kept asking earlier, what would you differently? What would you do? Okay, so I just wrote a little bit. So like Josiah has a video saying Tucker, Pierce, go nuclear on Ben Shapiro. Would you ever have a video titled like this related to the Majority Report or Kyle Kalinske or Jimmy Dore, where they're going like nuclear on each other over disagreements on DSA stuff?
No, because it's my shit's towards anti-Trump.
Okay. Fuck Bill Maher. Would you ever make a video about that related to Crystal Ball giving an insanely raked over the coals interview to Slotkin or Matt Berenstein and these people abusing the fuck out of Mick Morrow? Would you ever title a video called, okay, fuck Matt, fuck Emma Vigilant?
If she said that she was open to voting for JD Vance, maybe.
You mean like Hassan and Vosh?
You mean like you?
True.
You mean like Hassan and Vosh?
When Hassan and Vosh do it, it's perfectly acceptable. But when Destiny does it, all of a sudden they're very like, how dare you even insinuate that?
Yes, like Hassan and Vosh and you.
I publicly criticize.
And you said that you were, it's unsure whether or not you vote for AOC.
I said over AOC, assuming a socialist takeover. They said over Gavin Newsom. Hold on. Do you recognize the difference between those two statements?
So when I asked that question.
Do you recognize the difference between those two statements? Yes or no?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but just an invented thing. I never asked whether or not you vote for AOC given socialist takeover. I asked whether you would vote for AOC or JD Vance.
Yeah, Stephen, sorry. This is as much. No, the question to you was just as much of a no-brainer as it was to Hassan. And I publicly criticized Hassan when he gave his...
You guys don't even know what communism is.
What do you think Pisco's motivation is? Does he really think this? Is it to get the lefties in the tent, or is it a grift for his career? So one of the things that I would say a lot of lefties is with leftists, there's like the fully tanky side, and then there's like the more moderate leftist, right? So Pisco, people like Soy Pill, and that, they are the more moderate leftists. And it's like from what I can tell, their job is to minimize the potential harm that the far left has, while also not prescribing to their views, right? That's why they'll say, well, that's why I don't agree with that. That's why I don't agree with that. And at the same time, they will sweep what they say by like minimizing how serious or like what their intentions are and how damaging they are and everything like that. That's my understanding of it. I'll give you an example, and you're going to notice this from now on. When Soypill debates exactly the same as Hassan does. So when you see a Soypill debate and they're talking to him about like leftist, they will say things like, do you think Hassan doing this is bad? He'll say, yeah, no, that thing that he did, very bad, and I don't prescribe for it. But you know, at the same time, I can kind of understand where, you know, someone can see what Hassan does and, you know, a lot of those grievances that people have with a lot of the establishment, and they might agree with a lot of the things that Hassan says, you know? It's like to minimize just take no accountability. Sometimes as well, what they'll do is they'll agree that something is bad and then move on to sweep through it a little bit as well. Hassan did it as well, where he kind of says, you know, Hamas doing the rapes is bad, real or exaggerated, but that doesn't excuse genocide by Israel. Like, just shit like that. Anyway, rant over.
You don't see the threat at all. You don't care at all. You're
yes.
totally
AOC is not a communist.
Yes.
It's
She's
not
a
about AOC being a
socialist.
communist. It's about would she permit, like Mamdani his, as a backdoor, all the commies into the party. That's the issue.
True.
Yes.
Okay, that's
I would
a
prefer
fair
an economy ran by
criticism.
JD Vance over like the Green New Deal that literally destroys 25% or whatever of all corporations and turns them over to worker-owned fucking boards. That's insane. That the Green New Deal is an insane federal job
Fucking
security.
cat.
There's just so much insane shit in the Green New Deal. We just don't talk about it anymore because it never went anywhere. But now we just look at AOC as like the moderated candidate that's had to move away from like the far left. But it's such a meaningless question.
Would you back a JD Vance when he said that he wouldn't certify the results of an election that he'd lose?
Fucking cat.
Yeah, on liberalism grounds? Hopefully.
What? Yeah, that's disqualifying to me. But so is being a communist.
Wait a minute. But so which of the two would you vote for if you had to choose between two disqualified candidates? You said that you would rather have an economy run by JD Vance.
Bro, at that point, I would probably take the Kolinsky out and say, well, I don't know who I was supposed to say. And I just wouldn't endorse anybody. If I have to vote between a communist and a fascist, fuck me, dude.
Well, AOC is not a communist. So again, the problem for you is that the hypothetical pose, Stephen, the hypothetical pose to you was a no-brainer. It was easy. AOC in every fucking timeline in the multiverse. Period.
Oh my
just like to say.
Would you rather have socialist have a finger on the table when it comes to like democratic policy? And it's like, probably not. Like in the long run, that's like having two illiberal parties would just destroy the US. It would be too much. It's already bad enough that Republicans are fascist, you know?
The same fucking thing, the same hypothetical, Stephen, the same hypothetical that was posed to Hassan, Newsom, or JD Vance, that was also a no-brainer. And I criticized Hassan when he said what he said. As a matter of fact,
I also I don't agree with what he says.
Barely.
And when you gave your fucking retarded answer on AOC versus JD Vance, I bit my tongue. I'm not here to try to take swings at you and Hassan and everybody else just because you give a fucking stupid answer.
You want to swing at anybody while they're all swinging at us. You just sit in the corner and do nothing and then watch them eat the fucking party from the inside. That's the problem. That is the issue. It should be infinitely easier to say, would you vote for a moderate Dem over the
Should I be taking swings at you over your answer? Should I be taking swings at you over your answer, Stephen?
Maybe communism in 2 years. Like that.
He didn't give you a hard time. Decided to give you a hard time.
It wasn't communism versus JD Vance. It was AOC versus JD Vance. You gave a dumb answer. Should I and everybody else be like pointing our ire towards you? I bit my tongue. I bit my tongue. It's like, okay, I disagree with that and moved on.
He's basically saying, would you like to destroy the Democratic Party and potentially lose to JD Vance? Because Well, actually, no, I think AOC could win, but I don't know. I might be a little bit biased there. But it's like, fuck, dude. It wouldn't be a good thing for the US at all to have two populist movements at the same time like that.
Yeah. Nice. What am I assuming the policy differences are between AOC and JD Vance? Because the stated policies verbally, Vance I'm sorry, he's given better policies and better answers than AOC.
Oh, wow.
I'm sorry if that's offensive, but that's just true. We can debate on any of the economic policies you want. He sounds like he has a decent understanding of things. Now, I also happen to think that Vance is a fucking fascist who's been brain fucked by fucking Peter Thiel and them, but he hasn't said that. So what the fuck are the assumptions I'm supposed to make? I can make a bunch of crazy assumptions about Vance that aren't even really that crazy based on all of the shit that I think is in his background. But then what, am I just supposed to assume that AOC is going to be a moderate left Dem, like a fucking Gavin Newsom, or like a kind of far left Dem, like Gavin Newsom? Like, what the fuck? Why would I give her so much charitability, especially when you guys have proven that you are completely and totally incompetent when it comes to talking about anything bad to the left, but give infinite lack of charitability to JD Vance?
I don't know how to respond. I mean, like,
I know you don't.
Yeah.
Okay. The comparisons between between Liz Cheney and Adam Kinzinger and the rest of the Democrats, the big issue that I have is that when you guys talk about like, well, these other guys have realized they made a mistake, can you think of a single political hit or sacrifice, a single unpopular thing that any of these lefties has said or done in service to the Democratic Party ever?
Unpopular with respect to the overall country or to their base?
Who is their base?
Their constituency, the voter constituency, the far lefties. I'm assuming in the case of lefties.
Why would them acknowledging that the Democratic Party is better than the
because you know I got one in the pocket, right? And you know I got one for AOC.
Who is their base?
Yeah, the left wing of the Democratic Party, correct?
The socialists and the communists. So have they ever taken a hit?
And you know they have. And you know
for what?
AOC voting against, drumroll, the Iron Dome, or voting president. She lost the endorsement of DSA.
Hold on. I'm not talking about AOC. I'm talking about the media people. Your
Destiny's answer depends on the way both candidates govern. That's why his answer seems complicated, but Pisco and Josiah aren't applying that very important standard. Yeah, because they don't care. To them, AOC getting in is a no-brainer for them. It's easy. Because they're probably pro-socialism. I believe they are. So, I don't know, man. He does, like, as Destiny said, he doesn't necessarily have a problem with AOC. The problem is all of the association that comes with that, right? Can you imagine, like, oh my God, imagine they put Hassan Piker in the administration. They just do a Donald Trump and they put a fucking Twitch streamer in the administration. That'd be funny.
I thought we were just talking about politicians. Now we're back to, okay. I thought we were talking about, okay. So Kinzinger and Cheney versus Kalinske and Crystal Ball in terms of taking an unpopular position.
Any of the left.
I think the hypothetical at that point was also that AOC would be effective and JD Vance wouldn't. So AOC would be able to implement her policy and JD Vance wouldn't. I mean, yeah, but you can't really know that, right? It's a weird question. It's like, if everything was favorable to, to the Dems and AOC, but also the opposite of JD Vance would never be able to do anything effective. Though, to be fair, yeah, probably JD Vance being ineffective would be better than an effective AOC. But it's really telling after all the debate with Econ Boy. Yeah, probably. Are you saying yelling or telling? I'll be right back. I'm just going to grab another drink. I am getting a little bit tipsy tonight. Yeah, but Pisco introduces these hypotheticals, and then you got the clip. Oh, Destiny picks. Yeah, true. Yeah, Destiny actually thinks about the hypothetical, whereas they don't have to think about anything. No matter what position is picked, it's like he tried to do this with Mr. Mooten as well, where you have hypotheticals that aren't useful. Yeah, it's just a silly hypothetical. I don't know. Look, realistically, I imagine most people would still vote for AOC over JD Vance, because JD Vance is kind of like the very definition of evil, you know? Maybe if they had a more moderate VP with AOC, I don't know. I can see AOC being a VP pretty easily, with someone like fucking Gavin Newsom, maybe. That would be very realistic.
Left-wing media people, any of like the lefties.
There's no equivalent to Kinzinger or Cheney. None.
Yeah, there's nothing close.
There's nothing at all. Nothing close. There's nothing at all.
I'm not sure of that. I'm not the lore master for all their positions.
I mean,
no. The answer is no. The answer is no. I can't think of something off the top
Kyle
of my
saying
head.
that he would drag his balls over broken glass to vote for a centrist
Bill Manchin, I
candidate
guess.
over a MAGA Republican is probably not what leftists want to hear. The fact that he said that.
Hold on. Do you guys think they will support anybody in the
No,
primaries?
him saying that. No, you asked for a statement they gave that would rub their base wrong or whatever, and Josiah said the statement that they would, go and vote for Joe Manchin.
They'll understand that like things like AIPAC and Israel are non-negotiables. They understand that when he says that.
Is that contradicting what Josiah said? I thought you asked for an example, Josiah gave one.
No, because there's not a hit taken there. Nobody's like, wow, like you're right, bro. Like these people constantly equate Democrats and Republicans as essentially being the same thing.
So we're defining the scope of.
AOC would make a great VP, but I don't see her run as president. Yeah. Maybe after that, like, should be a lot older and everything. Like, she's very charismatic, but she doesn't also seem to be that popular. Like, at least with Bernie Sanders, you could argue that he was actually fairly popular. AOC, not that
potential positions they could take to only be contrary to their positions on Israel, I guess, and genocide. And it seems like every time we go through this exercise, it comes down to that it turns into a merits discussion on their position on Israel, Palestine. And only if they took a position contrary to that.
They've turned it into that. They've decided that is the hill to die on, and they've made that a non-negotiable. Is the most radical fucking position on a topic they haven't.
Okay, I don't know that they ever taken a position that you're saying would qualify, which is contrary to their position on Gaza, Israel, Palestine. I don't know that they've ever taken that position.
The best example is when Kyle.
How you guys think that these guys could abstain from the Harris-Trump election, but they're going to come out for moderate Dems in the midterms.
But the best example,
I can't even believe it.
Hang on. The best example of Kyle doing this, and he actually did kind of like surprise me a little bit, was there was like a brief window, like 3 or 4 months during the Biden presidency, when he railed on Breonna Joy Gray in that conversation they had. And he genuinely went to bat for Biden in a way that I think probably pissed off a lot of his fans. But that, again, that lasted literally like 3 or 4 months. And then as soon as October 7th popped off, it was just off to the races at that point.
So in your view, there have been examples of it, Hutch?
That was literally the one example, just the one. I'm just saying.
One's more than zero.
It's more than zero. It's just literally one time. One time he did that.
All right. I mean, what is it?
Jesus fucking Christ. Look at this fucking edgelord. Oh, Jesus Christ. So, I don't know if you guys saw the comments Asmongold made. Maybe I can find it here. Give me a second. Let's see, where's the video? Here we go.
That's what I would do. That's what I think they should. Is shoot him, problem solved. That's what I would do. That's what I think they should. I think they should just fucking shoot him. Like, I've said this before. Like, I know that it might sound like, oh, well, you shouldn't do that. I have no sympathy for doing that, and I would do that in a second because it's the right thing to do in the long term. You can never look at, in a very, very isolated incident, you could say, and there's always, this is emotional blackmail, right? Well, you can't shoot these people. They have kids with them. Well, then don't bring your kids. If you don't want to get shot, then don't bring your fucking kids. It's really simple. You mean you'd shoot adults and deport the kids, right? Well, I'd shoot whoever. Yeah, I'd shoot whoever. I mean, if it's kids, women, men, anybody, just shoot them. They're going to stop coming over. Because if you don't do that, they'll use children and women as shields to get themselves over. And then they'll put more women and children at risk because they know that they can use them as collateral so they can get more of themselves over. That's the way it works. That's the way an animal thinks. And these.
Anyway, yeah, that's. And this guy thinks it is needed. So, yeah, what a fucking genius this guy is. Who's this? Okay.
This is all for?
That's tilting.
Assume that it's true. Assume that it's true that they've only done it one time. So what? What is that inconsistent with desire?
AOC doesn't have the experience. Bernie's been here since the 70s and hasn't accomplished much. So I'm not sure why anyone would outside of her rhetoric. Yeah, I suppose that's true.
Or my positions. What is the contradiction? What is the problem?
You guys keep complaining that the Democratic brand sucks, and I agree that it does. But part of the reason why it sucks is because when people look at the Democrats, they don't know who the fuck the Democrats are, and nobody in the Democratic Party is able to look at the far lefty lunatics and say, that's not us. So these guys get to constantly dominate the messaging. They constantly get to have Fox News throwing up fucking Hassan and fucking all these lunatic weirdo fucks who are happy to go on there and prance around because they know they're not hurting their fucking lunatic socialist base, and then they can gerrymander us out of fucking districts. They can fight us on every fucking part of the media while the lefties are doing the exact fucking same. And when any moderate left person is looking for any support whatsoever, they don't get it. They go on breaking points and they get fucking destroyed by Crystal Ball. Neither of you fucking say anything. They go on Matt Berenstein. McMurrow gets fucking destroyed by Matt and fucking Emma. Neither of you guys fucking say anything. Every fucking place in the alternative media that they go to, besides Hutch's channel or mine, I guess, they get fucking mind fucked.
No, that's not true. I've interviewed Democratic Congress people and Democratic senators.
These guys aren't fighters. They won't stand.
We gave Mark Kelly a hand job. We gave a bunch of people hand jobs.
Yeah, so Stephen, you're just objectively wrong. You're just objectively wrong. I've interviewed Democratic Congress people and Democratic senators, and I don't fucking rake them over the coals. David Pakman does the same thing. Brian Tyler Cohen, you're just wrong.
Hey, Josiah, I looked up.
I'm sure there are some. Okay, maybe there are a couple channels on the lib left.
We've done it. We've given hand jobs to these politicians.
You're talking.
You've been giving them hand jobs, Destiny. What are you doing?
Talking to someone.
That's fine, but you guys have nothing to say when the far left rake these people.
Says who? Says who? Okay, like you can find.
Oh, I'm sorry. Wait, if I go through your channel, is there heavy criticism of you? No, actually, wait. Why am I even asking this? I watched you defend those dog shit fucking interviews. You're fucking crazy, bro. You slurped both of them up defending the horrible fucking roast session that I think Crystal Ball gave to fucking Slotkin, and I don't know if you covered the Berenstein.
So this is so you're taking the view that if you are not outraged by the Crystal Ball interview of Alyssa Slotkin,
I remember that. It was just like it was extremely bad faith. It was just disgusting.
You're like definitionally bad faith or something, but yeah, I'm
it was
sorry.
Bad faith.
Or
say that? Is there an echo here? Is it
no, I would say bad faith.
I guess I don't know what the conclusion is. That I'm unwilling to call it the left. Maybe I disagree with you.
A VP is basically the cheerleader of the president, so I think she would do fine. Like, not necessarily. I've seen during I think during the Biden presidency, he did try to get Kamala Harris to like take charge of a lot of things. And you see with the current Trump admin that JD Vance actually does do a lot. Like, it's weird. Online folk are clamoring for DSA candidates, yet here in St. Louis, Missouri, Tuesday they voted for the AIPAC-funded candidates, not the DSA-backed Cori Bush. So there's pushback. I would say that the recent results are very much pretty bad for leftists because, like, even that fucking, what is his name? Is it Ahmed El Said? He almost lost his election and he was polling at like plus 15%. Cori Bush got absolutely fucking destroyed in her election. In her primary, sorry. So it's like, I'm looking at that. I'm seeing the amount of moderates that are winning, and I'm just like, these people are going to do jack shit, to be honest. But at the same time, when they do get in, now everyone has to worry about Michigan and the Dems losing it now, because it's up in the air. now it's uncertain. And, you know, in a time when like things are really fucked up, it would be really nice if people played it a little bit safer than we need a socialist fucking revolution or some shit, you know? I don't know.
You also got another one in here, Mockler, who does the same thing. Like when he interviews Democratic senators and Congress people, it's a polite interview. He's not raking them over the coals. It's a massive platform. It's friendly.
Yes, but nobody will limit the far left people who attack those people. Like, it's nice that you guys are nice, but the far left never will be. And you guys give nice interviews to far left candidates. The far left will never
and
give
liberals.
nice interviews to
and more liberal candidates. I mean, we gave nice interview to Mark Kelly.
Yes, but I'm saying you guys will be nice to the lunatic fucking far left people. The far left people will never be nice. Do you understand that one-way treadmill like only moves to rock the party, moves people further left?
Yeah. So I acknowledge that is true, and I think that that's bad, and that they grade on a curve, and that they will never, I think, treat.
You're absolutely right. I bloody know I am, mate. No. Just kidding.
With respect, the liberal candidate, and will use bombastic rhetoric, and it's bad. I just don't know how that's contradictory with our view. I mean, we are willing to criticize those creators.
And Hutch, Josiah, real quick. Wait. I looked at your channel from around the time that Hassan said that he wouldn't vote for Gavin Newsom over JD Vance, and I don't see a single video.
I didn't do a video on it. I did on Twitter.
They're going to lose that race in Wisconsin. No shot Hong is going to win. Yeah, she's kind of yeah, she's a pretty big fucking throw right there. It's not even just that she's a leftist. Even if she was a lib, I think she might lose. She's not very charismatic, and she's a terrible speaker. I feel like that's gonna go really bad. I don't know, man. Dems should not be losing any fucking political races at all to any of these people, but then again, Donald Trump won in 2024, so I don't know.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Largest left-leaning streamer, Hassan Piker, by the way, but
yeah. We both criticized. I mean, Josiah made a big tweet about it. I did a review of it. I thought Mockler did a really good job when he got concessions there, and like, yeah. So we've covered that. We've criticized Hassan. It just seems like it's not enough. That we're not doing it enough.
What happened to Massey when he showed skepticism of Donald Trump? What happened to Marjorie Taylor Greene? You see how it's not the same? Do you see how the right knows how to keep like their own in line, and they don't like host their own like cancerous?
Yeah. We don't have the power. We don't have the power to do what Trump does vis-a-vis Massey and Marjorie Taylor Greene. Doesn't exist.
Yeah, because you're not even willing to exercise the smallest amount of it. You get bullied by, admittedly, a small faction of the party. Like, legislatively, these guys are like fucking, 4 seats maybe, I guess, if you count all 4 Justice Dems, and then whatever the 3 incoming DSA seats are. But, like, it's not like they just have a lot of media power. But because nobody is willing to say anything further left, not only does it hurt our own party on the inside, it makes the Republicans attack us.
Let's criticize the left. I've seen Soypill say that he hates.
They're not getting it. They're not doing enough. They don't need to criticize them every now and again. They need to push these people the fuck out. They need to blacklist them from discussions, criticize people who interview them, and do more. Like, there needs to be a sense of fucking panic over this shit.
On or something, and he's been critical, even though, you know, he doesn't agree with you guys on everything in terms of your conclusions on socialists and left-wingers or whatever. Josiah, I have seen him criticize far left people on his Twitter account. Maybe it's just a prescription that Josiah should be using his platform to make videos about it. And I heard that from, I forget who it was.
Somebody even brought up this tweet. This is like the nicest, gentlest fucking tweet ever in terms of Josiah criticizing Hassan. He doesn't even name him. In terms of like criticizing Hassan, like the very worst Democrat is objectively better than any MAGA candidate. He could have said something like, I can't say because Newsom needs to earn my vote if he wants to apply leverage. If I watched the video, I think I did watch your video on Bill Maher, who I agree is a fucking piece of shit. It was 1,000,000 times more brutal than Hassan, who's supposed to be on our team, right?
Maher's supposed to be on our team, not Hassan. Bill Maher is supposed to be on our team more than Hassan is.
Okay, my brain is fried on that comment. I don't even know, but okay.
Wait, what do you mean you
don't? Wait, what?
Who's supposed to be on our team, right?
Maher's supposed to be on our team, not Hassan. Bill Maher is supposed to be on our team more than Hassan is.
He thinks Bill Maher's on the same team.
Like the very worst Democrat is objectively better than any MAGA candidate. He could have said something like, I can't say because Newsom needs to earn my vote if he wants to apply leverage. If I watched the video, I think I did watch your video on Bill Maher, who I agree is a fucking piece of shit. It was 1,000,000 times more brutal than Hassan, who's supposed to be on our team, right?
Maher's supposed to be on our team, not Hassan. Bill Maher is supposed to be on our team more than Hassan is.
Okay, my brain is fried on that comment. I don't even know, but
I'm sorry. Bill Maher is a fucking snake. He got dick sucked by Trump and is just like in love with him now. It's fucking pathetic.
Okay.
Wait, what do you mean you don't know? What do you mean you don't know, Stephen? Which of the two self-identifies as a Democrat? Which of the two self-identifies as a Democrat? Which of the two self-identifies as a Democrat?
I feel like Bill Maher is like,
correct. Bill Maher. Bill Maher says he's a Democrat. Bill Maher says he votes for Democrats. Bill Maher is supposed to be on the team much more than Hassan. So by your own logic, I should be holding him to a higher standard than Hassan Piker. And by the way,
you're telling me that. Wait, so you're telling me that this ultra gentle tweet of like, we should hold his hand and help him be making better decisions is about somebody who's adversarial to the party? Because it looked like it was phrased to like a fellow Democrat who's almost completely aligned with us, and he's just like a little bit off on some things.
No, it's to a massive content creator who I guess at times endorses or supports very specific Democratic candidates, but who uses his platform irresponsibly and gives a shitty answer to a no-brainer question. If you want to say that I don't want to pre-commit to a specific Democratic candidate because I'll forfeit all my leverage, that's one thing. It's kind of like where I was fine with the uncommitted move.
Yeah, and I need to show this dog. Look at him. What's the dog doing? No. Fucking cat. Look at the dog. Hang on, can I zoom in? Let's see. Oh, hey, chat. There he goes. Okay, and for some reason the chat's over here. I don't know why. Here we go. Let me bring you guys up. Hello, guys. Look at that. You're back on the stream, everyone. Wow.
During the Democratic primary.
Nobody's saying.
Do
you think that that's what Hassan is saying?
No, what Josiah is saying is Bill Maher, on your own terms, identifies as a Democrat, and Hassan doesn't. And secondly, that Bill Maher said he's considering voting for a Republican, which isn't what Hassan said. Maybe that's explaining why one had.
Didn't he say that? Didn't dog paint me like one of the French girls? True. His name is Benji. He's a lovely boy. Mitty, for fuck's sakes. Get. Come on. Oh my god. Don't mind me, I'm a little bit brain dead today.
Gets the one reaction versus the other. Those are just things that I don't know. I mean, this hall monitor behavior, in my opinion, is kind of cringe. It's a criticism, right? It's a criticism of Hassan.
Hall monitor behavior? What do you mean hall monitor behavior?
You're looking at his dick. You're looking to inspect like what his.
You're looking at his dick, bro. What are you doing? He's fucking crotch thrusting in people's faces, mate.
Tweets are and the nature of the criticism, and you're basically being like virtue signal harder, bro. That's what you're saying.
Yeah. Notice how all the lefties do this to their own and how all of MAGA does this? Why are we the only people that can't, like, show support for their party? You see the problem?
You think Josiah doesn't show support for his party?
Really?
What?
I don't support the party.
That's not what I said.
You said we don't expect people to show support for our party. Are you talking about me or are you talking about Hassan?
I'm talking about enforcing standards amongst people that are supposed to be Democrats. It seems like the right can do this, MAGA can do this, and the far left hankies absolutely do this. So why can't the center left do this? Why can't we ever enforce a standard anywhere?
True.
In terms of calling it out, we do. You do. We all do, to one extent or another. That's what I did with Bill Maher. Bill Maher is supposed to be, again, listen, I'm an old school liberal. I'm a Democrat. I voted Democrat in every election. But you know what?
Bill Maher literally deep-throated Donald Trump. Like, I'm sorry, but, like, this is fucking pathetic.
my vote's up in the air 2028. And then for all the reasons I laid out and yet you agreed with in your review of my video, the guy who said that, yeah, my number one issue is that people won't concede elections. Well, Bill Maher says that he might give his vote to the guy who specifically said he wouldn't concede an election if he'd been in Mike Pence's position. So by definition, Bill Maher should be like, I'll either vote for the Democrat or I won't vote at all, but no way in fuck would I vote for JD Vance.
Maybe I've just seen different stuff. My impression that I feel like Bill Maher hasn't been like a Democrat since like fucking 2016. Maybe I'm just like super
You're wrong
on that.
You're wrong.
Okay. Yeah. Are you sure?
I'm positive.
Okay. Somebody linked a New York Post article from 2025 with Bill Maher drops bomb about his political affiliation. Quote, I was never a Democrat, end quote.
Oh. What do you mean never what?
Bill Maher says he never left the Democratic Party because he was never there to begin with. Quote, I never was a Democrat to begin with, end quote. Bill Maher said during his Club Random podcast released on Saturday with his guest actor, Asai Morales, quote, I always like caucus with the Democrats, and I generally vote for them, end quote, the comedian said. Bill Maher said that he's anticipating a day when the Democratic Party will be, quote, as insane, end quote, as the Republican Party.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Was Bill Maher.
I feel like he's like one of the guys who's like, I like weed and shit, but like I feel like the woke stuff is too much. That's always been my impression.
Yes, he's a guy who's always complained about the Democratic Party, but he just said in that, and I'm glad you provided the rest of that quote, that he caucuses with the Democrats and votes for Democrats. He's a Democrat. He's more of a Democrat than Hassan is.
Someone literally says, I am not a Democrat.
I think you'd grant that.
I would have considered Joe Rogan like 2018 to be more of a Democrat than Bill Maher. Would you agree with that or disagree?
I think I disagree.
Beg your pardon?
I would have considered Joe Rogan in like.
Do these guys not remember anything that happened
like that time frame? I would have considered Joe
before
Rogan
2020
to be more of like a Democrat than Bill Maher.
I disagree with that. I was shocked.
No,
I was shocked with what you just said with Bill Maher. I always viewed him as a Democrat guy, and I never viewed him other than that. Like I feel like he's always. I mean, he had an HBO show, and before that, like where he's always glazing Democrats. So I mean, whether he identifies as that, I think you would consider him as more of a Democrat than Hassan. Through his highest point.
Through Obama, sure, but after that, I don't know.
He voted for Obama. He voted for Clinton. He voted for Biden. Supported Kamala.
Yes.
Okay, here's my final question. Do you think that in the upcoming primaries, if you look at like Stevens and
I'll say it.
I don't even know. Do you think that? Yeah. Do you think that these guys are really gonna like full-throatedly endorse Stevens if El Sayed?
By full-throatedly, you mean enthusiastic? No, I don't think so. In any world.
No.
And you guys are.
I'm not okay with that. Why do you think we're okay with that?
You are okay with it. Your actions speak.
Wait, how are we okay with that? I don't want.
That's so insane to me.
I'm gonna buy a Haley Stevens T-shirt.
If the Republican Party is so much more lit than this, it's so cocked. Like, yeah, if their candidate they want to win loses, the fake doctor guy with fucking real estate in Dubai, yeah, then I probably, but there are allies. It's just so insanely cucked to me. I actually can't.
But then don't say we're okay with it.
Like, they're saying they're okay with people saying, like, you remember the whole blue no matter who shit, right? Like, they use that argument against libs, saying, oh, I thought you were blue no matter who. So you're basically the same as MAGA. Meanwhile, they will also concede the fact that if the liberal candidate loses, they won't vote for them. True. It's fucking pathetic.
They just say that we're cucks and we're not loud enough about it. But like
what does it mean to be?
What's the difference? The difference is we do have a dispositional attitude against them not being enthusiastic in supporting the Democrat. And I would wear a Haley Stevens punishment.
They're not even here participating in the Democratic primary. They're just here using El Sayed as a vector to attack Democrats. And if he wins, they'll use it as a bigger vector to attack Democrats. And if he loses, then they'll still
you think that you don't think that they're genuinely supportive of El Sayed? You think they're lying about that? It's just a means to an end to like shit on Dems.
True. Tool. Yeah.
Wait on a second. Hutch, you think that
that's exactly fucking right. It's blue no matter who, unless it's not the guy I wanted. Blue no matter who means you vote for my guy, not I vote for your guy.
That's why they hated
Hutch,
Nazis, why they hated soldiers until fucking 4-term fucking dark, what was it, Blackwater fucking Iraqi deployed Totenkopf, fucking Plattner the rapist showed up and they were okay with him.
So were you, and so were you for the general, and just to be
because I legitimately support the Democratic Party.
Okay.
He's like sitting there going, "Oh, but you supported." No, he was prescribing. Like, he was on board with Blue no matter who, and the leftists were abusing that to the point where they wanted a literal fucking neo-Nazi to be elected as a damn candidate who raped women. But it's the libs who are to blame. Like, they literally heard Blue no matter who, and they said, "Let's see how far we can fucking take it." Like, it's disgusting.
I want to ask.
That's the difference. Wait. Why did you just say so do you? Do you think that my support came from the same place as the lefties?
I didn't claim it did. I didn't claim it did. I didn't.
Oh,
claim it did.
No. You didn't claim it did. You just implied.
The Totenkopf tattoo tomorrow, they wouldn't be defending it.
Oh my God!
I never claimed that they would be defending it. I never claimed that they're not don't have double standards. I'm just saying you were willing to look past those things too. Now they're probably hypocritical on that, but that's listen. And you don't even have to look at that. You can just look at how they dealt with like Azov or whatever, and saying that we're just funding Nazis. I hear you on all that stuff. I agree. But Hutch just said, "Oh, they would use them as tools. They're using Al Sayed as tools." Isn't there a quote from you, Hutch, where you're like, the Democratic Party is just a tool? Isn't that like a benign opinion?
Tools to what end? Wait, hang on. The tools to what end? That's the question. The tool that they want to use him for is to basically destroy the Democratic Party that they claim is like a fundamentally evil institution.
Oh.
So their goal is to not their primary goal is to not beat MAGA and Trump and Republicans. Okay. Their primary goal is to fester like a cancer within the Democratic Party.
Yeah, I feel like you guys don't understand. When they say we want to defeat fascism, they're talking about the Republicans and the Democrats. That's who they're talking about.
Talk about you.
But I don't know.
What about what?
They're talking about you and Pisco and us and all of us. They're talking about us, not just Republicans.
I just want to go put this out there because I found this article here. So, quote, "I was never a Democrat."
Yeah, no, right. Still talking about Azov. I've got a friend coming over. I'll see if what he wants to do. But this, the stream may be ending soon. Okay. If it doesn't, and he's down to chill, we'll see what happens.
To begin with, I always like.
Maybe we'll have sex on stream. We got a couch behind us. I can put it on full cam for everyone, right?
Caucus with the Democrats and generally vote for them. I always vote for them, but I always look at it like, no, I'm actually going to make up my mind. They're just always less scary and less insane than the Republicans, but I wait for the day when it evens out. And also the title of it, Bill Maher drops bomb about his political affiliation. The reason it's a bomb is because everyone considers him a Democrat. Otherwise, it wouldn't be a bomb. And he says in there, he's a Democrat. When it comes to his vote and his support, he always votes Democrat.
No, I mean, again, I feel like
Bernie Sanders in 2016. Then he endorsed Hillary Clinton when she won the primary.
Certainly more than Hassan. I think you guys can grant that more than Hassan.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but I would expect Hassan to be more of a Democratic player than Bill Maher if he was truly on the left. I just don't consider Bill Maher to be like the Democrat guy.
I was surprised that he said he's not a Democrat. I'm going to be honest with you, and I.
Just do naked yoga, then it's not TOS on YouTube. It's not hot unless it's violating TOS, buddy. I don't know what to tell you.
So was I. So was I. I was genuinely stunned there, and then I saw the full clip where he's one of those.
He's one of the biggest people who was like, the woke shit has gone too far. Bill Maher complained about woke as much as any fucking comedian dude. He fucking hates the woke shit.
He bitches about the left, Stephen. He hates the left. And you said that you identify with Bill Maher a lot too. You say that in the past. So this shouldn't be a surprise. He's an establishment, old school liberal who votes Democrat over Republican. But he hates.
When I say I identify with him, I mean I get the woke cringe shit. But on magnitude, the reason why I agreed with your video is because the wokies are annoying as fuck. But JD Vance saying that he couldn't even give that the election, he would certify the results.
Right.
So much worse. But I'm just saying
that's why I flipped out on Maher is because it's just this is a betrayal of everything that you said you valued.
That's
and
true.
even when it was articulated to him, like, well, you say you care about elections, and the Republicans, including Vance, don't support elections and don't accept the outcome. And then Mars like, well, that's just shit that, they have to say, it's just like, come on, you know better than this.
Well, I think I have a clear prescription now. The next time this happens,
I hope that I'm wrong. I hope that in 3 months I'll be salty on stream, okay? But I'll be happy if all these lefty people are legitimately super fucking gung ho.
they're not going to be gung ho for Haley Stevens. We told you we're not predicting that. That's not the prediction.
Fuck me.
Wait. Why do you say fuck me?
Isn't that bad that you're like, it's in that position? Like, fuck me, dude. Isn't that a bad thing? That they're like not blue no matter who? Like,
we never said that they're going to be gung ho.
Are you okay then? Are you okay having a coalition inside the party that's only here to advocate for radical leftists to rot the party out, but they're never going to run anything against other
No, I'm not okay with people with that intent. I'm not okay with that. And by okay here, I mean I don't like it.
But how do you deal with it?
Yeah, criticize them as needed. Criticize them as appropriate.
You're not
what else
doing
do
it
you
as
suggest?
appropriate.
Kill them, or do what?
Oh my
what do we
God.
do?
Is that it? It's do nothing. Is that it?
No. Tell us what to do.
True, Pisco. Like, unless you're like doing more is just killing them. That's exactly right.
I've already listed. I said if there is infighting between like DSA people and Matter Dems, would anybody make a video on it? You guys, or at least Josiah said no, he wouldn't. If there was like a far lefty that gave a really fucking retarded take when Vosh or Hassan, as much as they're irrelevant or whatever, they're the two largest lefty streamers. When they say things like I wouldn't support Gavin Newsom over fucking JD Vance.
I did a whole fucking stream on that, and Josiah had a tweet about it.
Insane amount.
A stream and a tweet. Like that's their level of criticism.
Of anti-Semitism, but I understand that. Fuck Jews base. Okay, who cares? And the fact that you guys think that Ossoff would be anywhere near the good boy list on either of these two people is fucking insane. They will all fucking dogpile the Jew dude if he gets anywhere fucking near an actual big office.
Same with Shapiro.
But like, I just don't think that like the amount of criticism, like, well, in a live stream once, and I made a big tweet where
so we criticize. You acknowledge we criticize. You just think the criticism is insufficient. It should be more prominent. It should be louder, and it should be more vituperative.
Well, why do we criticize? What is the point of criticism?
There's many different purposes that one can have for criticism: to change opinions, to make content, to
push a change. I criticize a thing because I want that thing to change. If it's a small light tweet that isn't really even seen by the other person and there's no social pressure attached to it, there's no change there. It's just like a thing that was like dropping into the atmosphere. It means nothing.
I mean, there are multiple purposes to criticism. Another is to make a name for yourself, to get your audience to understand how you think, and to spread your opinions among other individuals who your audience is. It doesn't necessarily mean, changing the specific position of.
Yes, if you wanted to be like a fucking cuck, you could frame it that way. But considering this is like close to the midterms, maybe doing shit like that is kind of fucked up, and you should focus. Like, I don't get it, man. Like, liberals have to focus on the Republicans, but leftists can focus on the liberals. It's
whoever
great.
it is that you're interacting with. But no, I mean, like, I think that I'm vocal when I disagree with lefties. I mean, I've had screaming matches with lefties. I've reviewed content of Hassan. I've reviewed the debate with Mockler, and I thought Mockler did a good job.
Okay, all right, listen. Hutch and Usurp, I love you too very much. Josiah, I still love you very much. Pisco, I love you like 70%. Okay, fuck you. I love you guys.
All right, see you, buddy.
I'm tired
Sounds like you just want
based. Where is? There it is. All right, we're about to do naked yoga. I'm kidding. Give me a minute. I'm just going to go to the bathroom. I'll be right back. Yeah, let me put on some music. Does that sound good? Let's see. I had some mosaic here that I was playing before, and it was pretty good. It was copy white free. Alright, 1 second. actually a doggo stream. Okay, I gotta go. I will catch you later. Bye, everyone.